Hey everyone! Welcome back to Time for Gardening. If you've ever looked at a small, cramped backyard and felt limited by boring wooden fences, today is going to change everything for you. We're diving into the whimsical world of upcycled window frame fences. These aren't just boundaries. They are the secret to adding instant character, light, and vintage charm to even the most compact cottage gardens. I've curated 20 unique, eye-catching inspirations that will turn your outdoor space into a total sanctuary. You'll definitely want to stick around until the end because the last few ideas are absolute game changers for small space gardening. Let's get growing. Imagine walking into your garden as the morning sun crests the horizon, sending a kaleidoscope of rubies, emeralds, and sapphires dancing across your flower beds. By repurposing old window frames with stained glass or translucent paints, you aren't just building a fence. You're installing a permanent rainbow that breathes life into even the grayest of days. This vibrant play of light does more than catch the eye. It creates a sanctuary of shifting moods. As the sun moves, the colors migrate across your garden, highlighting different blooms and giving your compact cottage space a sense of dynamic, ever-changing art that feels both historical and deeply personal. There is something uniquely satisfying about reaching out from your patio chair to pinch a fresh sprig of thyme or mint directly from a vertical gallery. By mounting mason jars or terracotta pots to a weathered window frame, you transform a flat boundary into a lush, aromatic library of flavors. It turns the practical necessity of a fence into a sensory experience that sits right at eye level. Beyond the convenience of a quick harvest, this vertical arrangement acts as a living tapestry of textures and scents. The varying shades of green, from the silvery sage to the deep forest tones of rosemary, create a layered backdrop that makes your garden feel much larger and more intentionally curated than a traditional ground-level patch ever could. In a compact cottage garden, space is the most precious commodity, and mirrors are the ultimate secret weapon. By replacing old window panes with outdoor-rated mirrors, you create a portal that reflects your lush greenery back at you, effectively doubling the visual depth of your yard. It's a bit of garden magic that tricks the eye into seeing a hidden meadow just beyond the frame. This optical illusion does more than just expand the horizon. It captures and bounces light into the darker corners of your garden. As the mirrors reflect the swaying movement of the trees and the flight of birds, the fence ceases to be a barrier and instead becomes a living, breathing extension of the nature surrounding it. The humble combination of a sturdy wooden window frame and rustic chicken wire offers a quintessential farmhouse aesthetic that is as functional as it is charming. This design provides the perfect ladder for ambitious climbers like sweet peas or morning glories to weave their way upward. It creates a breathable, semi-transparent boundary that keeps the garden feeling open while providing essential support for your favorite vines. As the seasons progress, this simple wire mesh disappears behind a wall of fragrant blooms and verdant leaves. What began as a structural frame evolves into a vertical forest, proving that the most basic materials, when upcycled with intention, can produce the most dramatic and romantic results in a cottage setting. A garden is a place for reflection, and what better way to share those thoughts than with the chalkboard window fence? By coating the glass panes with chalkboard paint, you create a rotating canvas for poetic quotes, daily garden chores, or whimsical doodles. It's a delightful way to personalize your space and communicate with anyone who wanders through your green haven. The beauty of this interactive feature lies in its impermanence. As your garden changes from the blossoms of spring to the harvests of autumn, so too can your messages. It invites a sense of playfulness and storytelling, making your time for gardening space feel like an open diary where nature and creativity meet. Privacy in a small garden doesn't have to mean building a heavy, solid wall that blocks out the world. By applying lace-patterned stencils or frosting the glass of your window frames, you create a delicate screen that obscures the view while still letting the soft, filtered glow of the sun pass through. It evokes the feeling of an indoor parlor moved gracefully into the fresh air. This sophisticated touch adds a layer of vintage romance that perfectly complements the cottagecore aesthetic. The intricate patterns of the lace mimic the organic complexity of the plants nearby, ensuring that your boundary feels like a natural, soft-edged part of the landscape rather than a harsh division. Succulents are the jewels of the plant world, and housing them within the structured lines of a window frame creates a stunning, living picture effect. By building shallow shadow boxes behind the panes, you can pack a variety of echeveria, sedum, and hens and chicks into a tight textured mosaic. This approach turns a vertical surface into a low-maintenance masterpiece of geometry and color. Because these plants are so resilient, this living fence remains vibrant throughout the year with very little intervention. The contrast between the weathered wood of the upcycled frame and the plump, architectural leaves of the succulents creates a modern yet rustic focal point that is guaranteed to stop any passerby in their tracks. Capturing the fleeting beauty of a wildflower meadow is a dream for many gardeners, and pressed glass window frames allow you to do just that. By sandwiching dried blooms between two sheets of glass, you create a permanent herbarium that celebrates the bounty of your garden. It's a way to freeze time, keeping the delicate colors of summer alive, even when the first frost hits the ground. These botanical sandwiches act as translucent stained glass, letting the sun illuminate the fine veins of leaves and the transparent glow of petals. It's an ethereal addition to any fence line that reminds us of the intricate details of nature, turning your garden boundary into a curated outdoor gallery. An upcycled window frame serves as the perfect minimalist stage for the changing seasons, especially when used as a backdrop for handcrafted wreaths. Whether it's a fragrant circle of dried lavender in July or a crown of pine cones and holly in December, the frame provides a sense of scale and importance to these seasonal decorations. It makes the act of decorating feel like a permanent part of the garden's architecture. This rotating display ensures that your YouTube content always stays fresh and relevant to the calendar. By centering a wreath within the panes, you create a powerful visual anchor that draws the eye and celebrates the cyclical rhythm of life that makes time for gardening so special to your viewers. There is something undeniably mystical about a pointed Gothic arch, echoing the ruins of ancient abbeys and secret English estates. By repurposing an arched window frame into a garden gate, you aren't just creating an entrance, you're crafting a threshold into a fairy tale. The dramatic curves of the wood provide a stark, beautiful contrast to the soft, flowing lines of climbing ivy and rambling roses. Walking through such a gate sets a tone of wonder and discovery for the rest of the garden experience. It suggests that what lies beyond is a place of magic and peace, making it a perfect hero shot for any video intro focusing on whimsical or historical garden design. As the sun dips below the horizon, your garden shouldn't disappear into the shadows. Instead, it should transform into a glowing wonderland. By hanging a series of solar-powered glass lanterns from the top of an upcycled window frame, you create a chandelier effect that illuminates your fence line with a warm, amber glow. It's a sustainable way to extend your garden enjoyment long into the evening. This soft lighting does more than just provide visibility. It creates a cozy, intimate atmosphere that is perfect for twilight filming. The lanterns catch the glass of the window panes, creating dozens of tiny reflections that make the entire fence look like it's sparkling with fireflies, adding a touch of nighttime magic to your compact space. For the nature-loving gardener, a fence can be more than a boundary. It can be a front-row seat to the local wildlife. By mounting clear acrylic bird feeders directly onto the glass panes of your window frame fence, you create a unique viewing station that brings colorful finches and cardinals right to your eye level. It turns bird watching into an immersive, close-up experience. This setup is particularly effective for content creators, as it provides a steady, framed shot of nature in action. The window frame acts as a natural picture box, allowing you to film the birds against the backdrop of your garden, blending the joy of birding with the beauty of cottagecore design. Every garden has room for a little bit of whimsy, and a small wooden ledge added to a window frame provides the perfect stage for a miniature world. By building a tiny fairy garden on this windowsill, complete with mossy hills and pebble paths, you invite a sense of childlike wonder into your outdoor space. It's a detail that rewards those who take the time to look closely at your fence. These miniature installations allow for endless creativity and can be updated with the seasons or for special holiday-themed videos. It's a small-scale project with a large-scale impact, proving that even the narrowest ledge on an upcycled frame can hold an entire universe of imagination. Symmetry brings a sense of order and classic elegance to a garden, and pairing a central window frame with weathered shutters creates a window to the soul of your backyard. This arrangement mimics the facade of a charming cottage, giving your fence a sense of architectural weight and history. The shutters add a textured, layered look that makes the entire structure feel like a found treasure from a historic estate. This design is particularly effective for defining specific rooms within a garden. By using the shutters to frame the frame, you create a strong focal point that can be painted in contrasting colors to pop against your greenery, making it a fantastic backdrop for photos and video segments. If you want to maintain a sense of openness in a small yard, suspending window frames from an overhead beam using heavy-duty chains creates a floating fence that feels light and airy. Because the frames can sway slightly in the breeze, they add a sense of movement and kinetic energy to the landscape. It's a modern artistic take on the traditional boundary. This see-through fence allows the eye to travel through the frames to the garden beyond, ensuring that the space never feels boxed in. The floating effect is visually arresting and provides a unique wow factor for viewers who are looking for something outside the box of standard DIY projects. The harvest is one of the most rewarding times for a gardener, and your fence can play an active role in that process. By installing vintage hooks along the wood of an upcycled frame, you create a beautiful and functional rack for drying bundles of lavender, sage, and oregano. It turns the act of preserving your herbs into a piece of rustic wall art. The sight of hanging herbs, gently swaying and drying in the sun, adds an authentic homestead feel to your channel. It's a visual reminder of the garden's utility and the slow, intentional lifestyle that gardening encourages, making your fence a centerpiece of the cottagecore philosophy. Rare plants or tillandsia are the ultimate architectural plants, and they look stunning when displayed against a fine wire mesh inside a window frame. This soilless garden feels futuristic yet organic, as the plants appear to be floating within the frame. It's a clean, modern way to add greenery to a vertical surface without the weight or mess of traditional soil. This setup is perfect for gardeners who want a high-impact look with very low maintenance. The mesh allows for excellent airflow, which the plants love, while the window frame provides a tidy border that turns a collection of disparate plants into a cohesive, museum-quality installation. Sometimes the view beyond the fence isn't exactly what we want it to be. But with a little weather-resistant paint, you can create your own vista. By painting miniature landscapes or floral murals directly onto the glass panes, you provide a window to a different world. Whether it's a distant mountain range or a field of poppies, these painted scenes add a layer of storytelling to your garden. These murals act as permanent blooms that never fade, providing color and interest even in the middle of winter. For your YouTube audience, this project is a great way to showcase how art and gardening can merge to solve problems like a dull alleyway view or a dark corner. Gardening is a craft with a rich history, and displaying antique tools on your window frame fence is a beautiful way to pay homage to the gardeners who came before us. By mounting rusty trowels, copper watering cans, or vintage shears within the frame, you turn your boundary into a living museum. It adds a layer of curated farmhouse charm that feels lived in and loved. This display tells a story of hard work and passion, connecting your current gardening journey with the traditions of the past. It provides a textured, masculine meets rustic aesthetic that balances out the softer floral elements of a cottage garden, making for a well-rounded and interesting visual. Color is one of the fastest ways to change the energy of a space, and a row of window frames painted in a palette of soft pastels can turn a boring fence into a cheerful parade. By mixing shades like mint green, dusty rose, and butter yellow, you create an eclectic and happy boundary that feels like a celebration of spring all year round. This color blocking technique is incredibly Instagrammable and looks fantastic on camera, as the bright colors provide a perfect contrast to the deep greens of your foliage. It's a bold yet approachable DIY that encourages your viewers to experiment with color and express their unique personalities in their own backyard retreat. It's incredible how much a bit of reclaimed wood and glass can redefine a garden's soul. From the magical glow of the solar chandeliers to the practical beauty of the herb drying racks, we've seen today that your fence can be a canvas for your creativity. The best part? Most of these projects are budget-friendly and sustainable. If you enjoyed these 20 ideas, please hit that like button. It really helps a small channel like mine reach more garden lovers. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss our weekly Cottagecore DIYs. And I want to hear from you. Which of these 20 styles was your absolute favorite? Drop a comment below and let's chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.